Dear students, I hope you're all well and studying in your home and enjoying your online classes. Today we are going to discuss about the mixtures. Okay, in the chapter elements, compound and mixtures, we already read about the elements and compounds. Today we discuss about the mixtures. So, a mixed substance or mixture is made up of two or more pure substances. You have to remember that these are pure substances, elements, or compounds, or can be both, that retain their individual properties. The substances or components that make up a mixture are not chemically compound. This is necessary that when we are talk about mixtures, okay, so these are not chemically combined and they are retain their individual properties. Suppose, okay, a combination of table salt and water forms a mixture. You can see in figure, okay, this is the mixture of salt and water. So we add salt in water and it mix with it. Okay, but individual properties means salt is we can say does not change its salty nature and water is tasteless. Okay, so they both contain or retain their individual properties even after in a mixture. Okay, so dough you can see as is a mixture of flour and water. Okay, you daily see that dough is made in your home for making bread or chapatis. Okay, so this is also a mixture of flour and water. The characteristic of a mixture are as follows. So there are some characteristic of a mixture, and first is a mixture does not have a definite composition. Okay, a mixture does not have specific boiling and melting points, a characteristic color, smell, or taste. The components of a mixture can be separated by physical methods. Okay, the components of mixture you can easily separate by some physical methods. Now, if we talk about the what are the difference between a mixture and a compound, because they in both two things are mixed with each other. Okay, so first, a mixture is formed when two or more substances are physically mixed together, but compounds are formed when substances are chemically combined. You can see that here the difference is that in compounds the two or more substances are chemically combined. The constituents of a mixture can be separated easily. The constituent of compounds cannot be separated without undergoing chemical changes. A mixture does not have a fixed composition, but a compound has a fixed composition. The constituent retain their individual or chemical properties in a mixture, but the constituent do not retain their chemical properties in a compound. Okay, we already read about if you say that S2O is a compound, okay, water is a compound in which hydrogen and oxygen are mixed with each other, okay, or chemically combined. So you know that hydrogen is self-firing, catching fire, and oxygen is just execute, okay, just extend the fire, but when they mix with each other they form water. Okay, so this is the fourth one. When we say about that they do not retain their chemical properties in a compound, that means individual properties are lost in a compound. Constituents of a mixture can be separated through physical methods such as sieving, sedimentation and decondension, filtration, evaporation, and magnetic separation. But compounds cannot be broken down to their individual constituents through any physical method. Okay, by any physical method, you cannot be change their original. You can't come back to their original form. Okay. Now we move to the some separation techniques. Okay, what are the physical methods such as sieving and sedimentation, decondension, filtration, evaporation, and magnetic separation are used to separate components of a mixture. Okay, if we have to separate components of mixture, we use these methods. In which first comes sieving. Then what is sieving? The method of separating unwanted components from a mixture by using a sieve is called sieving. Okay, you can see chhanni as called in Hindi. Okay, there are sieve, and you can see here sand particles are get separated from a mixtures. Okay, and you can see in your home also. Okay, the sieving is used to just separate sand particles from your grains. This method is usually preferred when the components are different in size. Okay, if the components are different in sizes, this method is used. Okay, when the mixture is placed on the sieve and the sieve is shaken, the smaller component falls down through the holes of the sieve. Okay, whereas larger components rest remains on the sieve. Okay, sand is sieved at construction sites to remove small stones, gravels from it. This method can also be used to separate suspended components from a liquid. Okay, so this is the method of sieving. Now, if we talk about the sedimentation and decontamination, the method of separating insoluble solid components suspended in a liquid by allowing them to settle under the force of gravity is called sedimentation. Okay, this method separated insoluble solid, which are not soluble in water, and in a suspended liquid, we have to allow them just to settle under the force of gravity. This process is known as sedimentation. This process can be hastened by adding alum, a chemical to mixture. Okay, fitkari is called in Hindi. The process is called loading. This process is called when we add alum in it, it's known as loading. The component that settle down is called the sediment, and the component which settle down is called the sediment. The liquid above the sediment is called supernatant. Okay, supernatant. The process of pouring about the supernatant without disturbing the sediment is called decantation. Okay. Now, if we just pour out the supernatant without disturbing the sediment is called decantation. Muddy water can be separated into mud and clear water by sedimentation and decantation. So mainly this is used for the muddy water, and where we can easily separate the mud and clear water we can get by these two processes. Okay, you can see sedimentation and decantation. This is muddy water. Okay, and these mud particles are settled down due to the process of sedimentation. Okay, then we just this is upper part is known as superintendent. Okay, and we just pour out and by the process of decantation. So this is the example of decantation. And now we move to the filtration. Next method is filtration. The method of separating insoluble solid components suspended in a liquid using a filter is called, or filter paper is called, filtration. Okay, the filter can be a filter paper, a sieve, or a strainer. Okay, in this method a mixture of an insoluble solid and a liquid is poured through a filter paper. Okay, in this insoluble solid and a liquid is poured in a filter paper, a sieve, or strainer. The liquid that pass through the filter called the filtrate. The insoluble component that remains on the filter is called residue. Okay, so you have to know these term also, students. Okay, stirring tea is an example of filtration. Okay, when you just strain tea, you can see in your home also, this is also example of filtration. Here is a figure given. Okay, to much understand about the filtration process, you can see filter paper is kept in this beaker. Okay, and this in funnel, this is a funnel and this is a beaker in which residue is formed here and filtrate. This means you can say that pure water will be inside this cone. Okay, next process is evaporation. The process of changing a substance from its liquid state to its gaseous state at a temperature below its boiling point is called evaporation. Okay, you can say that change of a substance from liquid to gas at a temperature just below its boiling point is called evaporation. Heating increases the rate of evaporation. Evaporation can be used to obtain the solid components from a homogeneous mixture, solution of solids and liquids. In this method, the liquid is evaporated completely to dryness, leaving behind only the solid. For example, sugar can be separated from a sugar solution by completely evaporating the water in the solution. Okay, this is a general example. We also read about them in in earlier chapters also. Okay, so sugar can be easily evaporated from its solution. Now next is magnetic separation. The method of separating magnetic components of a mixture from non-magnetic one by using a magnet is called magnetic separation. It is also a very easy method, okay, by which we just separate magnetic components from non-magnetic components by using a magnet. Using this method, magnet components such as scrap iron or other metals that get attracted to a magnet can be easily separated from a heap of waste materials. For example, iron filling can be separated from an iron and sulfur mixture using a magnet. So you can see this figure also. Okay, these are iron fillings. It is used by a magnet and these can be separated from mixture of sulfur. So I hope you will be understand the processes of separating a mixture components and the definition of mixture. If you have any confusion, you can ask me. Thank you.